Hello, so this is going to be a video regarding a huge sign we should all be looking to. Whoever's watching for the rapture this year, we should be looking for this sign, okay? And basically what we're looking for is whether or not the moon is spotted at sundown, 6:38 p.m. Israel time, whether the moon is spotted or not, okay? Depending on whether or not the moon is spotted decides which day is going to be the Feast of Trumpets, which would be Tishri 1. So it could either fall on September 22nd, 23rd, or it could fall on September 23rd, 24th, depending on if the moon is sighted or not. Okay, without getting into too much details right now, I'm just going to give you guys the answer, and then I'll backtrack a little bit and explain that. So, to make it really quick for all yous that are, just interested to know what the sign is, this is what it is. But I do encourage you to stay to the end of the video because I do have a surprise, something that was discovered by a sister in Christ and I, a huge confirmation that Feast of Trumpets will be fulfilled on this September 23rd, 24th. It's going to blow your mind. So just stay tuned. Watch to the end, okay? And I don't think anyone else has discovered this. We discovered it while doing a Bible study. Guys, it's huge, okay? Huge confirmation. So, essentially, we've got two timelines that could possibly happen depending on whether or not the moon is sighted. Okay, so the Hebrew calendar works differently than the Gregorian calendar. Each day starts at sundown, okay? So, from sundown one day to sundown the next. So that's why each day from the Hebrew calendar overlaps 2 days in the Gregorian calendar, okay? So, sundown, September 22nd, is approximately 6:38 p.m. Israel time, okay? When the sun sets, it's indeterminate what day it's going to be. Okay, so each day on the Hebrew calendar can have 29 or 30 days. If the moon is spotted, there's only 29 days. Yes, there's only 29 days on the month, and the next day becomes the first of the next month. So, sundown, 6:38 p.m. Israel time, the sun sets. If the moon is spotted anywhere that evening after the sun sets, then automatically, retroactive, it'll be Tishri 1 that day. If the moon is not spotted, automatically the day will be Elul 30. They'll add the extra day to the month, and 24 hours later or the next day will be Tishri 1. Okay, so we're looking for Tishri 1. And right now, no man knows the day or hour. Only the Father knows. Okay, so basically, since God's the only one that knows the day right now or the hour, he's going to orchestrate the weather. Okay, so if God wants us on his calendar, and my thinking is, and this just kind of came to me, is that in order to keep us on his calendar, so when Jesus came the first time and he fulfilled the feasts, in order for Jesus to fulfill the divine appointments, God had to make sure human beings were on his timetable. And how would he do that? He would orchestrate the weather, whether or not the new moon was spotted or not each month to keep us in line. Okay, so he's going to do the same thing this year. If the rapture is going to take place this year, and it's going to take place on September 23rd and 24th, then the Lord will have to orchestrate the weather so that we do not see the moon that night. All right? So that way, that night becomes Elul 30, and then Feast of Trumpets could start on September 23rd and 24th. And like I said, I've got a confirmation at the end of this video that God may be telling us that we're on the right track, that it is September 23rd and 24th. Okay, so the two timelines we have here. We're all looking September 22nd. And guys, I've got the resources that we could watch it real time. I found the official organization that monitors this, and we'll know right away. Okay, so stay tuned for that as well. So timeline 1. If the moon is spotted on September 22nd after sundown, then Tishri 1 falls between September 22nd, sundown, 6:38 p.m., and ends on September 23rd, 6:36 p.m. That's not the big watch date that we're looking for. Okay? The big one we're looking for, most of it, not saying it can't be possible here. The Lord could do it on this day. But, if by the time the moon is spotted, the rapture could have happened already. But I'm really looking towards this because all the confirmations we're getting is on this. Okay, so what's the timeline we're looking for? If the moon is not spotted on September 22nd after sundown, then Tishri 1, Feast of Trumpets begins September 23rd, 6:36 p.m., ending September 24th, 6:35 p.m. These 2 days, okay? September 23rd and September 24th, sundown. That's where it's going to fall. That's the rapture window. High watch would be 6:36 p.m. sundown, twinkling of an eye. That's super high watch right there if the moon is not spotted. But if it doesn't happen right there, we keep hope, guys. It could be anywhere in that window, the final trump. And just another thing to answer your questions, guys. I get a lot of questions about what to watch out for the trumpets, how many blasts, and all that kind of stuff. Guys, guess what? That doesn't matter, because in the fulfillment of Feast of Trumpets, it's not going to be humans blasting the trump. It's going to be God himself. And he's not, pinned down by any times or whatever. He can do it based on tradition, how they do it. But if you go back to Leviticus 23, when God gives us the feast, that feast, basically the only thing we know about that is on the first day of the 7th month. So the first day of the 7th month, Tishri, you are to have a day of Sabbath rest, a sacred assembly commemorated with trumpet blast. That's it. That's all we know about Feast of Trumpets. There's nothing about times when the trumpet blasts are blown, how many blasts, none of that. That's not in the Bible. That's tradition. All we know is that trumpet blasts are blown that day, okay? And all tradition is just man's tradition. When God fulfills it, it's going to be him. It's going to be the trump of God, the shout that's going to raise the dead. Okay, so forget about all that stuff, guys. Just be ready. Okay, so that's where we are now. Where do we go from here? Okay, so I hope that's clear. Basically, we've got 2 timelines. The big exciting one is we're hoping that the moon is not spotted, because if the moon is spotted and we're still here, it's kind of concerning. Oh, one thing too about September 22nd sundown. There's only going to be a 15-minute window that the moon could possibly be sighted, because at 6:36 p.m. sundown, September 22nd, the moon goes below the horizon. It's a moonset. So we're lucky this year. We only have to watch for 15 minutes. Okay? And when I say watch, I'll show you how to watch. Okay? So we got 15 minutes there. After 15 minutes, if the moon is not sighted, if the weather's bad, whatever, then that's Elul 30. We've got pretty much a 24-hour signal that Feast of Trumpets is going to start the next sundown. Okay, guys, that's the signal. That's the 24-hour countdown we would have, approximately 24 hours. Okay, because we would only have 15 minutes. It would have to happen before 6:50 p.m. All right, so that's been covered. Now what I want to cover is the chances of seeing the moon this year on September 22nd. So where am I here? Oh, okay. So the odds that the new moon is sighted September 22nd, 2025 in Jerusalem from sunset until moonset, 6:36 to 6:50, about 14 minutes of time with the very thin crescent above the horizon, okay? 15 minutes there. It will only be 20 hours old and 0.4% illumination, and that makes a naked eye sighting difficult but not impossible. Rough practical odds, 10 to 25% naked eye under very good conditions. Okay, I'm thinking the conditions aren't going to be good that day. All right, and 50 to 80% with binoculars. I don't know if that counts, if they could use that. I don't know if it has to be spotted with the naked eye. Okay, so that covers that. So we know the window to watch. And now, how do we watch? I found 2 great resources, actually 3, that post the sighting of the new moon the same evening. Okay, and this is called whenisthenewmoon.com. And you can see here, they post it every new moon. Okay, so right on the evening, they'll post it when the moon gets sighted. Okay, so we can see here at Jerusalem, 7:35 p.m. on August 24th, it was spotted by this person and these 2 people. Okay, and it was posted right there. So everyone bookmark this page, and let's keep an eye out for the moon that day. All right, and another one would be Devorah's Date Tree. That's a Facebook page, and they post the exact same information. So I don't know where they're pulling this info from, but it's all the same. It's corroborated, okay? So again, August 24th was the last one by this person and these ones. It's the same people as over here. All right, and that covers that. So there you go, guys. We could all be watching for the new moon sighting, and we're pretty much hoping that it's not sighted. But if it is, guys, I don't know. I don't want to dash your hopes for September 23rd, 24th, but it seems as though that's the big signal, okay? That's how God keeps us on his calendar, whether humans see the moon or not. He had to do it the first time when Jesus Christ came the first time. He had to orchestrate the weather so that we were on the same calendar as him, because he knew when Jesus was coming to fulfill the feast, and God had to make it so that they couldn't see the moon or had to see the moons on the days so that the calendar lined up with God. God knows the day and the hour. We don't. Okay? So for all those people saying no one knows the day or the hour, hey, that's pretty much what that means, I think. Okay? We don't know. We will not know till September 22nd what day the Feast of Trumpets lands on. Okay, moving forward. Oh yeah, there's one more resource for spotting a new moon. This is called renewedmoon.com. I think this one's a little more complex, has a bit more info. But yeah, you can see this is Israel-based. The moon was confirmed last month, Sunday evening, August 24th. They also have a global observation, but I wouldn't count that, okay? I think the Lord goes by Israel-based, because it's pretty much probably 100% that the whole world, somewhere around the world, they're going to see the moon. Okay, so let's just focus on that. All right, guys, so the last thing I want to cover is pretty exciting, okay? So I really want to show you guys this. Now, a lot of people say we don't know which calendar we're on, or where we are on the calendar's off, this and that, right? And that's legitimate, because you know, it's tough to say whether or not we're on the right calendar. So many years have gone by, etc. But God, in his mercy, I think he's given us a huge hint that we're on the right track. Okay, and here it is. In Leviticus 23, the Feast of Trumpets, where God gives the command to celebrate this, the first time it's been dictated to the people of the Jewish people by Moses, it was dictated like this. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, on the first day of the 7th month, you are to have a day of Sabbath rest, a sacred assembly commemorated with trumpet blasts. Do no regular work, but present a food offering to the Lord." Okay? That's all we need to know about Feast of Trumpets. Everything else, throw it out. Okay? It's on the first day of the 7th month, Tishri. Okay? And that, I just explained how that works here. We don't know which day it's going to be. We don't know the day or the hour. All right, but maybe God does. You think maybe he does, or do you think he knows for sure? I think he knows for sure, and I think he's telling us here. Look, on September 23rd and September 24th, 2025, the Feast of Trumpets will be fulfilled, will come to its fulfillment by the Lord himself. Do you see that? The only 3 verses that have to do with the Feast of Trumpets is verse 23, 24, and 25. September 23rd, September 24th, September 25. Guys, I don't know if that's a huge confirmation, but that's huge. Okay? And God in his mercy is really wants us to know this date, I think. I don't think he wants to hide it from us. I think that's silly. Why would he want to hide this from us? This is the beginning of the tribulation. This is our hope. We got to warn people. This is where we're putting our hope. I really think he's trying to tell us something here, guys. I'm listening. How about you? Okay? So I hope that encourages you all. I hope that gives you guys something to look forward to. And I think I covered it all. And anyways, guys, God bless. Maranatha. See you guys in the clouds. And God bless.